Knowing what you must eat and drink keeps you in direct contact with your spirit and purpose. This makes you a very powerful and very hard to control entity. An agenda is afoot to take away your natural power base. Find how and why you must be yourself again. Does your religion teach you what you must eat and why? What is the importance of the scientific proof that taste is an acquired behavior? Why do we like or dislike certain foods? Who is responsible for what you eat or drink today? Prince Teacher Rabbi LM Dumizulu on some questions on meat and milk diet. What does your religion say you must eat and why? Let us explore this because there is a dominating God of the Bible, and let us learn current human nutrition as shaped by the Bible and Judeo-Christianity in our midst. Millions of our brothers and sisters, children of the original and oldest ancestor, now follow a book and its nutritional system without due consideration to its subtle spiritual influence and systematic limitations. Of course, this will shock millions of those in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and many other religions and spiritualities, because these religions cannot restore individuals to a lifelong health, nor will they be able to cultivate an earthly paradise. Why? Because their teachings on food easily demonstrates how far they fail to practice the life standards of the paradise clearly explained in the book of origins they call Genesis. For argument's sake, today we shall use the Bible. Initially, the first commandment on food was that all humans and animals were to eat seeds. Adam and Eve were instructed to eat fruits. Therefore, they were fruitarians. So you go to Genesis 2:15. It tells you that the Lord planted the garden and that he said they may freely eat of every tree in the garden. You can read this from the Berean Bible. In Genesis 1:29, we are told that Elohim said, "See, I have given you every plant that yields seeds, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping creature on the earth in which there is a living being, every green plant is for food." So everything was supposed to eat the herb, to be a vegan. With this trend of thought, would you say being a vegan is the biblical original diet? The emphatic answer should be yes. Then why do Christians, Muslims, and Jews eat meat? Now consider this as a vital fact on laws of food. Because once you understand food laws, they should bring a healthy longevity and happiness. God loves blood. The first sacrifice in the Bible is found in the account of Cain and Abel. It is based on two concepts with the fundamental interest in our idea that Christianity, Judaism, and Islam will never offer you salvation. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Therefore, he was a vegan. Abel also brought the firstlings of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel, who was not a vegan, who was killing another conscious entity. And he had no respect for Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry. Why did God reject Cain's sacrifice? Christianity and many others have harmonized all this by invoking a spiritual aspect to this. But the physical aspect is very important, because remember, God's dietary law is based on eating seeds and fruits. Genesis 1:29 and Genesis 2:15. Who taught these boys about sacrifices? Were they vegans or meat eaters? Is this story original? Why does God love blood and hate vegetables? So when you go to Genesis 9:1-4, you find that God blessed Noah, and he said, "Be fruitful and multiply." And then in verse 3 he says, "Everything that lives shall be food for you. So everything now has been given in food. And as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. Then he says, but you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. So how is this blood coming in? We have just seen that he loves blood. Go to this side player. What about Genesis 1:29, where God said he has given us every herb and seeds? What happens? Why this sudden changes? Suddenly, from there on, we find meat and animal sacrifices dominating the mentality of those following this book and many of its spin-offs. Noah, a millennium earlier, had already demonstrated that there were clean and unclean animals. Thus, these laws were established before Leviticus 11. You go to this Tanakh-based studies and read about it. Christianity modified God's clean food laws. Paul confirms it. He adds in 1 Timothy 4:1-4 that all foods are clean. And let us not forget Acts 11, also demonstrating all that. Therefore, millions of our brothers and sisters today have a choice of what they should eat. The surprise continues, because Jesus himself declared all meats clean, and millions say yes. Then they eat pork, they eat snakes, they eat everything. As recorded in Mark 7, Jesus clearly abrogated the laws of clean and unclean meat, which were revealed in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14. It's in the Bible that Christians believe it is inspired. So God changes, but in another part, God says this doesn't change. His laws changes, but God in another part, he says the laws are eternal. So what do Christians believe? Let us ask, does your religion teach you what you must eat and why? Yes. Is the food you are eating race compatible? Is a meat and milk diet original and suitable for humans? Before we answer this, let us digest the importance of the scientific proof that taste is an acquired behavior. The scientific proof that taste is an acquired behavior is very important at 3 levels. 1, it shows that we have got free will and ability to alter our behavior. 2, it shows that if we have got the knowledge, we will know what we must eat and what we must drink versus what we must not eat and what we must not drink. It also tells us that taste for food or drink is not hardwired. You go to this study, scientific study, they give you that. Let us follow again this God who has dominated black people and many other people, and let us look at human nutrition and see how, so that we know that God said he came down into Egypt to rescue the Israelites so they can take Canaanite, Jebusites, Perizzites, Hivites land, because that land was flowing with milk and honey. We ignore the honey aspect and ask, which milk was God saying the people should eat or consume? Why is that only human beings are the only ones who continue to drink milk beyond babyhood? If it was human milk, we may understand. But why switch speeches? It's time to ask yourself why you think you are a baby cow. Think about that. But God promised us the land of milk and honey. So which milk? Cow milk? Goat milk? Also our ancestors, we see here, Metet here, milking. The argument that drinking cow milk increases bone strength and density and prevents osteoporosis is a lie. It has been proved by science. Go to this and study that. It doesn't so, because there was absence of osteoporosis on our ancestors who did not consume milk. There is no reason to drink cow's milk at any time in your life. It was designed for calves, not humans. And we should all stop drinking it today. Dr. Frank A. Oski. So what milk? Why did God promise milk? Which milk? Don't spiritualize it, because honey, you don't have to spiritualize it. We are born with a natural ability to taste only one food. That is breast milk. This is so for a special reason. During the past decade, experiments by scientists has revealed that the environment in which the human fetus lives, the amniotic sac, changes as a function of the food choices of the mother, since dietary flavors are transmitted and flavor amniotic fluid to the developing child. So the impact points of early experience in developing of flavor preferences. So flavors in amniotic fluid, the fetus. So flavors in breast milk, the nursing infant. So flavors of weaning foods, the weaning of infant. So flavors of adult foods and childhood and adulthood. So breastfeeding and amniotic fluids share a commonality in flavor profiles with the foods eaten by the mother, suggesting that breast milk is a bridge of the experience which flavors in the utero that the solid food would be required or demanded or desired by the born child. We are born with a natural ability to taste only one food, breast milk. Everything else is acquired. Breastfeeding leads to babies with higher intelligent quotients and lower rates of child obesity than their formula fed counterparts. The nutritional and immunological components of breast milk change every day according to the specific individual needs of the baby. Yes, this is powerful. So the baby's feelings, what the baby wants, is transmitted spiritually to what the baby milk will provide for that baby. So breast milk is a complete food, a perfect food, an ideal combination of fats, protein, carbohydrates, and nutrients. Only human milk and breastfeeding is natural for the young baby. Perhaps even for grown babies, for grown people, for us. Then why did God promise us cow milk? Why do we like or dislike certain foods? Who is responsible for what you eat or what you drink? We must ask, is beef, poultry, pork, lamb, goat, venison, cow milk, goat milk, or even more exotic beasts from the ocean and air that are consumed on a regular basis, is that natural? Is the association with those animals, with the slaughter, with death, with the pain, with war, and holding these feasts, the devil's doctrines? For meat to taste nice is the blood. They want to say myoglobin, but we say it's the blood. Does meat contain blood? Yes. The human body we inhabit is purely an animal body with a tendency of base instincts of an animal. It can be programmed to eat anything, and the tendency to love bloody meals and have been programmed into us is easy. Most foods are addictive. They were made addictive deliberately. Intoxication feels good, just as a drink of a glass of milk, wine, or beer. Hypoxanthine and other similar substances such as arsenic and guaninic acid are present in meat. They have a chemical structure similar to that of caffeine in coffee or the theobromine in cocoa, with similar effects. They are central nervous system stimulants. They are addictive. They are not food. Anything that is addictive is not food. It is medicinal. It should be used briefly. The Maillard reaction, which is the reaction when you fry your meat, seared steaks, pan-fried dumplings, cookies, and other kinds of biscuits, breast toasters, marshmallow, and many other foods undergo this reaction of oxidization, of rusting. Does your religion teach you what you must eat and why? Yes. But almost all religions have been hijacked by the enemy. Thus, they will train you to poison yourself by not consuming the correct food. What is the importance of the scientific discovery that taste is an acquired behavior? This is a massive find. It reminds us that we have power and a free will to independently select what we can or we cannot eat or drink. Remember, only the taste of breast milk is hardwired in us for a purpose. Why do we like or dislike certain foods? It's because of programming and conditioning, culture and tradition and religion. Who is responsible for what you eat or what you drink? Very important. Initially, your mother and father, and society and culture. Then after you are weaned, you are on your own. But beware of the commercial advertisement and marketers, the government and agenda, and the enemy. In conclusion, therefore, be careful of those who control you using religions, some aspects of traditions, and science. Know and always remember this on a daily basis. You are a ninefold soul dwelling in a car or chintu, an animal body. Your purpose is to master this beast, this animal body, to battle against many enemies and tame the negative energy found on the earth. Hamiti Hebrew Ethics and Marifado Development Organization endeavor to share with the children of the original ancestors these truths. Join us today at join@marifado.com and be a co-worker, for the work is great. Subscribe to Hamiti Hebrew Ethics. This preacher Rabbi Ellen Tumisulu. Some questions on meat and milk diet have been answered. Eat what you know is compatible and synchronous with your life purpose, aligned to the ninefold soul. Beware of the devil's doctrines. Tatenda, thank you, Siyabonga. Till next time, goodbye.